Hi everybody. I thought I'll make this short video because I had a story that came to my mind today about my son and how something that happened to him when he was a toddler made an impact on him today and he's a teenager, and hopefully we can look at it and start healing it before he gets into adulthood. So my son takes part of racing. He races for school and he's very anxious about it. And we have a lot of talks about it. And one day he says, I don't want to be the last and I don't want to be the first. The last because I don't want to disappoint anybody. I want to be a part of my team. But I don't want to be the first either because I think that creates a lot of pressure and I just don't want anybody to be looking at me this way. Everybody's going to be looking over every move, what I do next. It's better that I kind of am in the middle. And we started to dig into that. And he says, I have a memory. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, do you remember that time when I was in Germany and I went to this kindergarten? Well, actually, that was daycare. In front of our house, and he was 3 years old when he went to that daycare, and he was only for 6 months. He says, I remember in our group I was chosen by the older kid because they had mixed groups. They were 3-year-olds, 4 and 5-year-olds together, and like the oldest boy in their class has chosen Alex out of every kid out there. So it was something very special. And they had this platform in a room, like some kind of house, that this boy took Alex. So they walked over that platform so everybody could see them. And then he took his pants off. And everybody laughed at him. And the teacher saw it and turned around and pretend that nothing happened. And Alex says to me, I remember how I felt. I remember how embarrassed I was. I remember how hopeless. He says, I still carry those emotions. And I know this made a huge impact on him because if he remembers something from such an early age, it must have done a huge number on him, because the stronger the emotion, the bigger the memory. So if you want to go back and think of anything that happened to you as a kid, that could be very telling, because what happened back then probably is still maybe influencing the way your reality works. Anyway, I did not know this story. And the interesting part is that we have taken him out of this daycare because it was across the street from us, and I knew once a day they went outside and I watched him through the window, and I saw a similar thing happen, that bunch of boys chased him down, tag him to the ground and took his pants off, and the teacher was watching and no one said anything. And that was the reason I took him out. I had no idea that repeated on the inside of the school that I didn't see. And, he was too little to tell me. But I'm just so grateful I was able to see that happening outside and react and find him a different place. But see, looking back at what happened to him, I can definitely say that his fear of being seen comes from that situation. He was chosen out of all of these kids. So, something special that happened to him, something that made him visible and recognized for something for others. And then he was made fun of. So I think his body, his nervous system has learned back then that if I do something that exposes me so everybody can see me, I'm going to be laughed at. And also the teacher that turned around is like, nobody's going to help me. I'm going to be hopeless. So this is something that runs in his nervous system. And we talked about it. And unfortunately, it's not something that he can just see and change. Seeing is the first step towards healing, but the next thing he needs to do is teach his nervous system that it's okay to be seen. So take small steps. You need to be brave. Maybe he's going to be second, in the running, and he's going to notice that, he was okay, that nothing really happened. Nobody was really laughing at him. So you make those little increments, small steps, and you need courage because this is something you're going to be afraid of. And you teach your nervous system that you're going to survive this, that this is new reality, that you don't have anything to worry about. So that's the story. I hope this resonates, and share with me any comments that you have. Maybe you had similar experiences. That would be very interesting to know.